Hi everyone, I'm Andrea and this is Knowing Yoga. Welcome to the third class in our beginning yoga series. Today's class is all about foundations. So we're going to talk about the foundation of our breath, foundation in sitting postures, and foundation in standing postures. So we're going to move through some postures and then we'll do a little meditation at the end. So let's get started. All right, you can come to your easy pose, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe one knee up, maybe some blocks under your knees. I'm usually on a blanket, but someone has stolen my blanket today, so I'm sitting on my bolster. Pillows work too. All right, so we're gonna start by grounding into the moment, onto the mat, coming into this space and letting go of everything else. We're gonna focus on our breath. So let's take one hand to the belly and one hand to the chest. And we're going to start with our 3-part breath. So inhaling deep into the belly and then into the rib cage and then into the chest. And then on the exhale, chest falls, ribs fall, belly falls. So let's practice that for a couple of rounds together, and then you can do some at your own pace. So we're going to try and breathe in through our nose. That's our natural filtration system. Gives us something else to focus on. And try and breathe out through our nose too. If that's not accessible to you today, then go ahead and breathe in and out through your mouth. All right, let's get started. So we're going to inhale, belly, ribs, chest rises. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly falls. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly falls. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly falls. Now at your own pace, inhale. Exhale. And let's do a couple more rounds. Let's do one last breath. Awesome. And that is a great foundational breath practice. It's really good to practice laying down too on your back so that you can really feel the rise in the belly and the chest. All right, so let's move into some postures. I'm going to take the bolster out from under me because I really want us to feel our anchor to the floor. So if you are on a blanket, that's great. If you're on a pillow, you might want to move to a blanket. So what we're going to do is focus on our 2 sits bones, the bony parts of our bottom, and really feel them planting into the earth. And then from there, we're going to pull the belly button in slightly so that our spine straightens. There's still a little natural curve in the lower back, like in the arch. And then we're going to take our shoulders and round them down and back. So shoulder blades come down away from the ears and rotate inward toward the spine. And this is our seated easy pose, our foundation for seated postures. And just kind of notice what that feels like as you take some breaths. And let's move with the breath now. So let's spread the arms out. So without losing that foundation, grounding through the sits bones, belly pulled in slightly, shoulders down. Let's inhale, arms up overhead. Eye gaze can follow the fingertips up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Really focusing on feeling rooted into the earth. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, rooting down into the earth to rise up tall. Exhale, lower. Awesome. Let's plant the right hand on the floor or on a block and inhale that left arm up and over. Ears are relaxing, shoulders are relaxing away from the ears. Just breathing here, warming up the spine, feeling both sits bones evenly planted into the earth. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let that hand fall down. Switch sides. So again, you can use your block right here if you need to. So planting down, belly pulls in, shoulders down the back. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, rounding over, feeling that stretch along the right side of the body. Ears stay low. Shoulders stay low. It's cracking me up today. All right, take some breaths here. Feel the breath as you root down into the earth with those sits bones and the belly still engaged. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, let that hand fall down. Okay, so from here, we're going to move into our tabletop position. So we're going to find our foundation in this position. So knees and feet are about hip width distance apart. Again, if your knees are achy, you can put them on a blanket. And then our wrists are about shoulder width apart, and we're pressing into our fingers. Pointer fingers are pointing dead ahead. And then our elbow crease, instead of facing inward, we're going to rotate that upper arm so that our elbow crease faces forward. From here, just pressing into the fingertips, keeping the weight out of the heels of the hands. And then we're pressing into the shins and the tops of the feet. And we're gently drawing the belly button to the spine. Again, our shoulders here are widening away from each other and pull down towards the hips, away from the ears. All right, let's do some cat-cows here. So inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the head. Exhale, rounding over like our friend here, Simon, when he's not asleep. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. And then inhale back to neutral. See if you can find that foundation again. Fingertips pressing in. Elbow creases rotated forward. Shoulders down away from the ears. And feet pushing into the earth, which helps engage the belly. All right, from here, we're going to walk the hands forward, coming into a half plank position. So here, find that same engagement, that same foundation of the hands, the elbow creases, the shoulders, and the belly pulls in. Might need to slide the feet back some. And then from here, we're going to lower down, whatever way feels good, all the way to your bellies. So once we get to the floor, our fingertips are just underneath our shoulders, and we're preparing for our cobra pose, another foundation position that really strengthens the lower back, helps alleviate back pain. So from here, our feet again are about hip width distance apart. Tops of the feet are are pushing into the earth, and the toes are pointed. We engage the legs, meaning we contract the quads, the calves, and our kneecaps may lift up off the ground. Forehead down to the floor. From here, we are going to roll the shoulders back down the back towards the hips, and then isometrically pull the heels of the hands towards the hips, lengthening through the spine on the inhale and lifting the head so that the sternum comes off the floor. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Great job. Relaxing here, squeezing the elbows into the side body throughout that whole posture. And now we're going to press back into a child's pose. Now, in the first couple of sessions, I taught you to, if you want to have that blanket or a pillow in between the hips and the heels, and then you stretch the arms forward, forehead comes to the floor or a block, whatever feels good for you. And let's take a couple of breaths here. This is a resting posture, but such a grounding posture. It can really pull you into the moment and soothe the nervous system. One more deep breath here. Awesome. Okay, so from here, coming back into our tabletop position that we did earlier, finding your foundation here. And then we're going to walk the hands a couple of inches forward. Now we're going to move into down dog if you choose. If not, you can stay in child's pose, or you can strengthen in tabletop, come back to child's pose if you need a rest, or you can meet us in standing forward fold. So from here, we're going to tuck the toes under. Sometimes I like to just send my hips back and get a nice stretch along the bottoms of the feet and along the calf muscles. And you can practice here pressing, lifting out of the shoulders. So instead of sinking in, we lift out. And keeping that lifting motion out of the shoulders, we are going to, on the exhale, lift the hips up to the sky. So belly button is pulled in tight to the spine. Hips are lifting up, tailbone lifting up towards the ceiling, and we're allowing our sternum to fall towards the earth, and allowing with each exhale the heels to get closer to the earth. It's okay if your knees are bent, if that feels better for you. Just elongating through the spine, whatever works. From here, we're engaging the legs, so kneecaps are lifted, and we're isometrically pulling the inner thighs away from each other. Awesome. And then bending the knees, looking in between the hands. We're going to take 3 or 4 steps to the top of the mat. And just hang in a forward fold. And again, use your blocks if that feels good, or stack of books. Keep the knees slightly bent so that you can elongate in the lower back. We don't want to round in the lower back. And then just breathe here. Relax the jaw. Doing great. All right, let's bring hands to hips, pressing the feet into the earth, shoulders pulled down away from the ears. Inhale up with a flat back. And then exhale, arms down. So we inhale up with a flat back because 1, it protects our back. I hear my kiddos in the background. And 2, it allows us on the inhale to not get dizzy or lightheaded. So come up as slow as you need to. You can come up next to a piece of furniture and hold on to that too if you need to. All right, so now we're going to talk about the foundation of all standing postures, mountain pose. So we're rooting down into the earth so we can raise up tall towards the ceiling, towards the sky, and stand strong. So this is our mountain posture. So when you come into mountain, you want to think about having your feet about hip width distance apart. Again, find your own place in this posture, whatever feels great for you. And we're going to lift the toes, spread them out wide, and then plant them down into the earth. So we want to try and feel the 4 corners of our feet, big toe, little toe, and the back 2 corners of our heels. If we plant those 4 corners down, it lifts up the inner foot, and that allows us to help with balance and create a very strong foundation. So as we have our feet planted into the earth, we then engage our legs for more strength and more stability. So we're going to engage the quads, so the kneecaps may lift up. We don't have our knees locked out straight. There's slightly micro bend in the knees. And then pulling the inner thighs towards each other isometrically. So this looks like a relaxed posture, but right now I'm doing lots of work down here. So from here, we roll the shoulders down and back. Again, the shoulder blades come towards the spine, but then our belly button pulls into the spine, which naturally brings our tailbone pointing down towards the floor. And then our hands open out in front of us, ready to give and receive any energy. And just take a couple of breaths here. Maybe go back to that 3-part breath. Awesome. And now focus on rooting down through the feet and extending through the crown of the head. See if you can grow another 1/2 inch. Body's engaged. We're feeling strong and stable. You're doing an awesome job. From here, let's just take some breaths, moving the hands, the arms, while we keep the lower body and belly engaged and the shoulders down. So let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, lower. Shoulders are away from the ears, belly's engaged. Inhale up, 4 corners of the feet planted into the earth, reaching up high. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Inner thighs pulling towards each other, reaching, lifting through the crown of the head. Exhale, lower. Belly button still pulling into the spine. And release. Awesome job. All right, from here, we are going to inhale the arms up overhead in our mountain posture. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then folding down into our forward fold. So hands to blocks or chair in front of you or the floor. And just resting here. Soothing the nervous system, lowering the heart rate. You can rock back and forth if that feels good, shifting the weight. Maybe shake the head, yes, no, side to side, releasing any tension there. And from there, whether you have your blocks or if your hands are on the floor, we're going to slowly come back down into our tabletop position. All right, awesome. And then from here, we're going to come into a seated position. And we're going to do just a couple of stretches before we lay down in our Shavasana. So maybe when you're seated like this, maybe your knees are bent, or maybe you can stretch them all the way to the earth. Whatever feels good for you here. Keep that bend if you need it, as long as you're feeling a stretch along the hamstrings. So feet can be together or hip width distance apart. Again, let's root down into the earth, feeling those sits bones both into the earth, into the mat. Shoulders round down and back, belly's pulling in. This is staff pose, and it looks easy, but it's engaging when we're doing it right. Our legs are engaged, belly's engaged, and shoulders help us with our posture. So from here, inhale, hands up high. Exhale, forward fold, grabbing wherever you can, knees, shins, ankles, feet. If you need to, keep that bend in the knees. As long as you're feeling a stretch here along the hamstrings, we want that lower back to be protected and lengthened, even if we're rounding up high. So again, let the head fall. And as you exhale, you might be able to lengthen the legs a little bit more, straightening the knees some. This may be your forward fold right here, your hands right here. If you feel a stretch, then that's your edge. Listen to your body. As long as you're forward folded even slightly, even with the knees bent, you're getting all the benefits of this posture. Awesome. All right, let's do our bound angle. It's one of my faves. I'll do it in almost every class. So again, pull some blocks in under the knees if that feels better for you. And let's grab shins, ankles, feet, tops of toes, focusing on that foundation. Those sits bones are planting into the earth, rooting down, and then lengthening through the spine on the inhale. Exhale, begin to bend the elbows, and then slowly rounding over. Belly button pulling into the spine, chin tucked. Slow inhales and exhales here. Eye gaze down between the feet or at the floor. Couple of deep breaths here. And then feeling those sits bones rooted into the earth, belly button pulls into the spine. Inhaling, rounding up. One vertebrae stacking on top of another, one at a time. And then let's take our hands, bring our legs together, and come into our Shavasana. So normally I would take this little blanket and put it under my head, but since this little guy is on it, I'm just gonna lay down without it. I'm gonna bring this bolster under my knees to take the pressure off my lower back. You don't have to use anything there, but you can if you like, a pillow, a blanket, a bolster. And then coming down onto our backs, just gently tuck those shoulder blades underneath you. Allow the palms to face up, heels together, toes out, or heels towards each other. They're not really touching here. Just sealing in that practice, finding some rest here. And we're going to go through a short mindful breathing exercise or guided meditation before we end our practice. So coming back to that 3-part breath, let's place one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. And if you like, you can close your eyes. All right, inhale deep into the belly, then the ribs, then the chest, and exhale, chest falls, ribs fall, belly falls, sinking into the earth. Body's becoming relaxed and heavy. So inhale, belly rises, ribs rise, chest rises. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly falls. Inhale, belly, ribs and chest. Exhale, everything falls gently towards the earth. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest, and then exhale, everything lowers. Now continue at your own pace. Just really visualizing that air going down to the bottom of the lungs first, expanding the belly, then the middle of the lungs, expanding the rib cage, then the top of the lungs, expanding the chest, and then exhale, everything falls. if your mind drifts off, just gently bring it back to the breath, to that 3-part breath. Take one more deep inhale. And then a slow, gentle exhale. And if your eyes are closed, gently letting them open. If you have a bolster or pillow underneath you, maybe move that out of the way. Let's roll over onto the side of your choice. Just aligning the spine, which allows the energy points along the spine to realign. Couple of deep cleansing breaths here. All right, awesome job. Let's use our hands to come up to our seated position, our easy pose. Congratulations on finishing the 3rd class of this 14-class journey. Again, I can't wait to hear your thoughts about your experiences and what's happening for you, what you're learning from this, and any thoughts or feedback you have, leave it in the comment section and I will gladly listen. All right, so we're gonna end with one more deep breath, but first a quote. So since we are starting this journey and starting new things, I thought this one was appropriate. It's never too late to become who you want to be. I hope you live a life that you're proud of, and if you find that you're not, I hope you have the strength to start over. F. Scott Fitzgerald. So you guys should be proud of starting this journey, learning new things about yourself and about yoga, whether you've done yoga before or not. I encourage you to keep up with this 14-class journey and just see what it does for you and see what you begin to learn about yourself and about yoga. All right, let's finish with one more deep breath together to seal in all that you did today and seal in all that positive. Hands out wide. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Gently tucking the chin. Thanking yourself for all the work you did today, finding your foundation. The light in me acknowledges and salutes the light in each of you. Namaste.